Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron saying here, and I'm back with another video since you guys are so awesome and got 300 likes on last night's video. Today I'm bringing back an old favorite of mine, Mega Scizor, as you see on the team, the only Mega Pokemon on the team. The rest are all Pokemon I've been using before, Special Tyranitar, Bulky Rotom Wash, Aerodactyl with Tailwind, Amoonguss, and Talonflame with Choice Band. Mega Scizor, obviously, not a very common Mega Pokemon in the VGC format, unfortunately. Scizor was really my favorite Pokemon back in Generation 5 in 2012 and 2013, but it's seen a lot of decrease in use for a couple of reasons, mainly because of Bug Bite not being viable anymore because it was a tutor move, Cresselia not in the format anymore. I know Scizor was a great check to non-HP Fire Cresselias, and that was one of the reasons why I actually liked using it. And I'm going to find an opponent, Scuba, 1435 from England, the UK. Scuba's team, as we go into Team Riru, is going to be, it looks like a really hyper-offensive team with Gengar, Garchomp, Noivern, Scizor, Charizard, Blastoise. Unfortunately, I don't think Scizor will be very good in this matchup, but I kind of want to use him, so I might still bring him into this matchup. Talonflame is going to be really good. Aerodactyl is going to be really good to counter that Charizard. I like Aerodactyl and Amoonguss as my leads a lot, because Amoonguss can wall everything except for that Charizard. In the back, I think I'm still going to bring Scizor because I want to see what I can do with it. Talonflame and Tyranitar are both really good in this matchup, but I think I'm going to lean towards Talonflame. This is one of the cases where my opponent doesn't have the best team in terms of defense, so I really could bring any 6 of my Pokemon. I think it would be a good matchup. However, I did fall into the trap, I guess, of bringing 2 Pokemon in Aerodactyl and Amoonguss that don't do that much in terms of offense. They're more support Pokemon, so let's see how this turns out. But my opponent's team just looks like it's really frail in terms of bulk, so I'm hoping that Choice Band, Talonflame, and Scizor can overwhelm there. And I'm going to get a great lead matchup here, as my opponent's going to go with Charizard and Garchomp against my Aerodactyl and Amoonguss. Obviously, I can just go for a Rock Slide and Spore here, not even worrying about that Charizard going for a potential Protect, just because I can have a Focus Sash. And the worst case scenario here would be for Charizard to Protect and for Garchomp to have a Lumberry. But let's see how this is going to play out. Charizard's not going to switch, I'm going to Mega Evolve. And if Charizard doesn't Protect, then I'm probably going to win this game right from the start, but let's see. We're going to see Charizard, Charizard opts to go for the Protect, so pretty obvious, but good play as well. Aerodactyl is just going to get a Rock Slide off into this Garchomp. I didn't want to Ice Fang it because I don't want to take damage, from Rough Skin, because that breaks my Focus Sash. But Garchomp's not going to go for a Rock Slide, it's actually going to go for an Earthquake, so that's even better for me. Amoonguss is going to hit the Spore, and let's see if that Garchomp is Lumberied or not, because Lumberry is a pretty common item on Garchomp. There is no Lumberry on that Garchomp, so I am in a very, very good position right from the start. Here I'm going to go for a Rock Slide, and just go for a Giga Drain onto Garchomp. Charizard might opt to switch out, but I don't really care. I'd rather get some more damage off onto Garchomp than Spore the switch in. And I had an outstanding lead matchup here, so I'm very content with how things are going. And Charizard is going to switch out, which is a good play because you can't lose your Mega Pokemon right away like that. Blastoise is actually going to come in, that's really cool. Blastoise I have not really seen used at all, so I'm curious to see what it can do, but it doesn't have the Mega Evolution, obviously, because Charizard already Mega Evolved. I'm going to miss Rock Slide on Garchomp, that's not really going to matter very much, as Garchomp's going to take its first turn of sleep, and I'm going to get a nice Giga Drain off onto the Garchomp. Going to heal back a good amount. And with Black Sludge, too, I am recovering a nice amount each turn. Here I'm tempted to, I want to conserve the Aerodactyl for the Charizard, so I'm going to switch out my Aerodactyl into my Scizor, I think. Yeah, I really need Aerodactyl to beat Charizard. So I'm going to switch into Scizor, which has a good matchup here, and go for a Spore onto Blastoise. Blastoise, of course, does have access to Fake Out, but I don't want to just lose Aerodactyl right away. And now seems like a nice time to bring out Scizor. And what I can do is bait the Charizard to come back out and bring my Aerodactyl back in, predicting that switch. Blastoise going for the Ice Beam. Let's see who it targets. Going on onto the Scizor, so that ended up being a good switch in for me, as I'm going to get a Spore off here. And Blastoise is going to take a nice nap now. And I've set myself up for a Scizor Swords Dance sweep, which is very, very nice. I anticipate one of my opponent's 2 Pokemon switching out, so I'm going to Mega Evolve Swords Dance here and go for a Giga Drain onto the Garchomp. I feel like Blastoise is going to be the one switching out. And the reason why I didn't want to switch out to Aerodactyl just yet is because I'm going to do that the following turn. But I probably should have spored at least one of my opponent's 2 Pokemon. But actually, my opponent's going to stay in with both of his Pokemon, so that's going to be even better for me, as Mega Scizor is going to obviously get the evolution up, which is awesome. Garchomp going to take 3 turns of sleep, so pretty fortunate here in terms of sleep turns, as Blastoise takes its first turn of sleep. So I'm going to heal back even more with Giga Drain, obviously, as Scizor does go for its Swords Dance, which is going to be huge, obviously. And Amoonguss going to heal some more back with Giga Drain onto that Garchomp. Definitely in range for a KO with Bullet Punch, obviously. So I'm going to Bullet Punch the Garchomp. Garchomp either has to protect, switch out, or attack this turn. So it's either going to feint, protect itself, or switch out. Blastoise can't really do much in the sun to Scizor or Amoonguss, so I'm not really worried about that right now. Obviously, Charizard's going to want to switch back in at this point because that's a great matchup for my opponent, but I have Aerodactyl obviously in the back in anticipation for that. Let's see if my opponent actually switches. Blastoise is going to switch out, so that was a good play by my opponent. Came a turn later than I thought, but a good play nonetheless. Garchomp not going to go for a protect, so I'm just going to pick up a KO here with Bullet Punch. Obviously running some rough skin, so I'm glad I didn't Ice Fang it earlier with Aerodactyl. And running the Rocky Helmet, okay. Good item choice there, as I'm going to knock out the Garchomp, and I should heal back just a bit with Giga Drain. Spore would have been the smarter play there, but I just wanted to pick up a potential knockout onto the Blastoise if possible. Sun's actually going to go down, which might make surviving a Heat Wave from Charizard with the Amoonguss feasible, but obviously I'm just going to try to switch an Aerodactyl at this point. I anticipate the Blastoise coming back out at this right now, but let's see. I'm glad I actually got to use Mega Scizor though, that's pretty awesome. Yep, Blastoise is going to come back in. Here I am just going to protect with my Scizor, and I don't want to lose my Aerodactyl to, say, a switch in, so I'm just going to Spore. Actually, Charizard might protect, so I'm going to Giga Drain the Blastoise. Yeah, that seems like the play that makes the most sense to me. Doesn't look like Charizard's going to protect though, which is fine. Blastoise going to take a turn of sleep there. I anticipate it going for the fake out this turn, actually. Charizard is going to get a Heat Wave off, and Amoonguss is going to survive, okay. But it's going to take burn, it's going to get burned along the way. And I guess this is what I should have anticipated, because I should have Spored the Charizard instead. I kind of expect the Charizard to maybe go for a Protect there, but this is fine. I'm still in a perfectly decent position. Especially now that I can safely get a an Aerodactyl switch in. Gonna Bullet Punch the Blastoise here. I think Scizor has really done its job, and protect the Amoonguss. That way I can Rage Powder any potential attacks away from my opponent's side and just kind of get just spam Rock Slide, because Rock Slide obviously is a great counter to just one-hit KO Charizard. Amoonguss is gonna protect here. Scizor is gonna get the Bullet Punch off. Don't expect that to KO, but surprisingly it does. At +2, that's just how strong it can really be. Charizard, I'm sure, going for another Heat Wave here. That should be a clean KO onto Mega Scizor, but Mega Scizor knocked out 2 Pokemon, so it has done its job. Scizor going to fall down here, and this allows me to just bring back Aerodactyl, which is always awesome. I'm going to heal some from Black Sludge, of course, but going to take some more damage from Burn. Going to bring me down to 34 HP, but Amoonguss is pretty clutch, and now I'm going to bring in Aerodactyl. Let's see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. And my opponent's actually running a Scizor. Cool. So I'm going to bring in my Aerodactyl here, and I'm fine with that because I know I can just Rage Powder and Rock Slide here, which is exactly what I'm going to do. There's nothing my opponent can really do. I'm sure Scizor is going to go for a Bullet Punch this turn, but regardless, what this allows me to do is do some chip damage onto Scizor, then bring in Talonflame, then just Brave Bird it for a KO, especially because Aerodactyl does have its Focus Sash. Amoonguss is going to go for the Rage Powder, obviously, redirecting all attacks away, single target attacks. My opponent's Charizard actually isn't going to protect, so this Bullet Punch is just going to go into Amoonguss, and if I hit the Rock Slide, then this game is going to be over. But let's see if I hit the Rock Slide. Yep, I do. So, lucky break there. Would have been an uphill battle, I guess, if the Rock Slide missed, because Charizard would have been able to get an attack off onto Aerodactyl, but then I would have just protected the following turn, so I think I already locked it up earlier on in the game. But my Scizor proving itself to be the better Scizor in this matchup, as I'm just going to go for a Rock Slide and a Flare Blitz to finish this game off. So, this is one of the cases where my opponent had a bunch of Pokemon that were really strong offensively, but couldn't do very much because Scizor going for a last attempt Quick Attack. Doing a nice amount to the Talonflame, actually, as I'm just going to get a Rock Slide off. gonna do a good amount, and Talonflame will KO this Scizor, obviously, with the Choice Band, Adamant, Flare Blitz. But like I was saying, this is one of the cases where my opponent had a team that wasn't exactly very bulky, and so I was kind of able to overwhelm him with offense. And I'm glad to actually got to bring Mega Scizor in that game, so that was pretty awesome. Let me know what you guys thought about the battle, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. 300 likes for another video as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll try to get it to you whenever I can. And that's it for today's battle, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Peace.